Greetings of the day, everyone. Today we'll be starting with the discussion of the poem in elementary school classroom in a slum, and we'll also talk about the poet Stephen Spender. Now let us start. Stephen Spender was a poet and English essayist. He had keen interest in politics. His work concentrated on themes of social injustice and class struggle. Poet and critic Stephen Spender was born in London. He was a member of the generation of British poets who came to prominence in the 1930s, a group sometimes referred to as the Oxford Poets. His famous works include Farewell to My Student and Human Condition. Now we'll be moving on to the para-wise discussion of the poem. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces, like rootless weeds, the hair torn around their pallor. The tall girl with her weighed down head, the paper seeming boy with rat's eyes, the stunted, unlucky hire of twisted bones reciting a father's garnal disease, his lesson from his desk. At back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young, his eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in the tree room other than this. Now, in this section, author is basically describing how miserable is the condition of the children who are studying in this elementary school classroom. He goes on to describe their features. Now, the first feature he points out is that their hair are just like rootless weeds. We have seen a plantation. In any plantation, weeds are always uprooted because they contaminate the whole produce. Just like this, the children's hair are also appearing to be like rootless weeds which have been uprooted. They have very unkept hair, and their faces are very malnutrition. Their faces are pale in color, right? And their hair are appearing as if they are rootless weeds. They have patches here and there, and their hair are unkept. Now he moves on to describe a tall girl who is appearing to be very depressed. Her head is weighed down, she is looking down. Now her weighed down head is symbolic of the pressure she is facing. Obviously, she is living in poverty, she is not getting quality education. All of this has been shown with the symbol of her weighed down head. She is very depressed and she is not happy. She is carrying the burden of all of the miseries that she has to face. The paper seeming boy with rat's eyes. Now the author has gone to describe another boy who is who is so malnourished that he is appearing as if he's as thin as a paper, and he has the eyes of a rat. Now a rat's eyes, they always are in the search of food. Just like that, this boy's eyes are also in search of all the good things that he has not been provided due to the conditions that he lives in. He is in search of food, nourishment, good quality education, and he is in search of a shelter. All of these things are appearing in his eyes. His eyes are appearing as if he has eyes of a rat. The stunted, unlucky hire of twisted bones, reciting a father's garnal disease, his lesson from his desk. Now, author goes on to describe another boy. The boy is reciting lesson from his desk, but he is so malnourished, he has a disease of twisted bones, that it appears as if he is not reciting a lesson from his desk, but he is talking about the only thing that he has inherited from his father, that is the disease of twisted bones. Right? This is the miserable condition of the children that the author has so beautifully depicted. At the back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young. Now we go on to read about another boy who is sitting at the back of the class. He is very sweet and young. His eyes are in a dream. They are dreaming about something else other than giving attention to the classroom. He's not mentally present in the classroom. He is looking out on a tree where squirrels are playing, and they are giving a lively appearance, which is totally in contrast with the condition of the classroom in which he is studying. This is what the last line depicts other than this. Other than this means that the squirrel's game, which the boy is dreaming about, is totally in contrast with the condition of the slum classroom. On sour cream walls, donations. Shakespeare's head, cloudless at dawn. Civilized dome, riding all cities. Belle, flowery Tyrolese Valley. Open handed map, awarding the world its world. And yet, for these children, these windows, not this map, their world, were all their futures painted with the fog. A narrow street sealed in with a lead sky, far, far from rivers, capes, and stars of the world. Now, in this section, the author is talking about the appearance of the classroom itself. First, he goes on to describe the color of the walls. The color of the walls is sour cream. Sour cream is basically a very dull greenish color, which does not give a very happy appearance to the classroom. And on the walls, all the names of the people are written who have given donations to build this classroom. And there are many images put up on the classroom walls. The first one being the picture of Shakespeare, the literary giant who basically set the foundation of English literature. His portrait is basically of no use of these children. Obviously, the children who are not getting quality education, how can they go on to learn something about Shakespeare, to learn his works, which have no connection to their dull and miserable lives? Now a picture is being shown where the dawn is shown as cloudless. Dawn is basically the time when the sun is setting. Now a picture is depicting that time. A third image is where all the big buildings in the cities are shown, and the posh lifestyle that the people of cities enjoy, that has been depicted on that image. Now another image has been put up on the classroom wall, which shows the Tyrolese Valley. Now this Tyrolese Valley is a region in the Austrian Alpine province. Now this picture of the Tyrolese Valley, it has been adorned with many flowers and belled flowery images, right? This is also in contrast of the classroom, which is very dull and lifeless. A map has also been put up on the classroom wall. Now why is this map called open-handed map? This map has been called open-handed map because this map has been drawn by the dictators, the politicians, who have drawn this map which depicts all the continents, all the worlds, but they have not done anything to provide the true image of this world to these children, because their world is only confined to the slum with dingy houses, unhygienic conditions. So that is why it is written as an open-handed map, which is in contrast with the world that the children actually live in. And yet for these children, these windows, not this map, their world, were all futures painted with the fog. Now these windows, which the author is talking about, these windows are the world for the children. The windows put up in the classroom, they show the slum. This slum is the true world for the children, and the map is not the true world for the children, right? And in this window, we can see that their future is painted with the fog. Their future is not at all clear. The future is bleak with no necessities given to them, and a narrow street can. Their future has also been compared with a narrow street sealed in with a lead sky. A narrow street sealed in with a lead sky basically means that their future is as dark as a lead sky. Lead sky is basically black in color. Lead basically is a chemical compound which is black in color. So their future has been compared to a narrow street where the sky is black in color, where nothing is clear. Far, far from rivers, capes, and stars of the woods. Their world is also away from beautiful rivers, beautiful capes, and the stars of words. That is, their future is also away from knowledge and wisdom. Surely Shakespeare is wicked, the map a bad example, with ships in sun and love tempting them to steal. for lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes. From fog to endless night, on their slag heap, these children, were skins peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel, with mended glass like bottled bits and stones. All of their time and space are foggy slum. So blot their maps with slums as big as doom. Now the author, now the poet, he starts to depict what he actually wants for the children of the slum. First, he calls Shakespeare wicked. Why does he call Shakespeare wicked? Because all of the pieces that Shakespeare has written, all of the dramas, all of the poems that Shakespeare has written, they have no use for the slum of the children. So Shakespeare has been called wicked in that sense because his works cannot help these children gain the wisdom. The map is a bad example because the map that has been put up, the children may not be able to see the true world outside that is shown in the map because their life is confined to the slum itself. Now these images, the map and Shakespeare's portrait, they tempt them to steal. They tempt them to steal in a way that they provide them a picture of a colorful world which they may not be able to achieve anytime. So this is tempting them to steal for themselves, steal some good conditions for themselves, steal all the ship's sun and love for themselves for the lives that ultimately turn into their slums. Ultimately, they have to live in the cramped holes, they have to live in the congested cells of their slums. So these images are providing them an image, they are providing them a false image which they may not be able to achieve anytime. Their life has been defined to fog, to the morning's fog and an endless night. Now on their slag heap is basically a heap or a cluster of dirt, cluster of garbage, right? On their slag heap, on their physical appearance, on the body which is malnourished, these children, they wear skins which are peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel with mended glass like bottled bits and stone. Now the author moves on to describe the physical appearance of the children. On their slag heap, their physical appearance appears as if it is a collection of different things put together, right? They wear skins peeped through by bones. Their skin lets the bones peep. They are so malnourished that their bones are peeping out of their skins, and they are wearing spectacles of steels which are having mended glass, and their bodies are appearing as if they are bottle bits pasted on a stone. Now all of the time and space of these children are in the foggy slum. All of the time, all of the space they have, it is going to be spent in the slum itself. So author is advising that blot their maps with slums as big as the doom. Author is saying that when any of us, the privileged ones, we have nothing to do for these children, so why not we blot them? Why not we paint their lives, we paint their maps, the actual world they have to live in, with slums which are as big as dooms which they have to be congested in. So this is the aggression of the poet that is being felt in this section. Unless governor, inspector and visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. Break, oh break open till they break the town, and show the children to green fields, and make their world run azure on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books, the white, the green, leaves open history, theirs whose language is the sun. Now in this section, the author is advising that unless the governors, the inspectors and the visitors, the high authority people, they don't do anything, the children cannot be taken out of the conditions which they are currently living in. He is appealing them to come forward and help these children and make their world shift from these windows to these maps, to the actual world that the world map is showing. He says that unless they do not come and help these children, their world will shut upon, these windows will shut upon their lives like catacombs. Catacombs are basically underground tunnels, right? So these their lives will shut upon in these tunnels, in the tunnels which they are living in, basically symbolic of the slums which they are living in. Unless the governor, the inspector and the visitors do not come out to help these children, they will be confined in the slums itself. They should help them and break the chain till they and break the chain of poverty till they come out and they educate themselves, they get good conditions, get good food and shelter and some basic rights, right? And after getting all these conditions, they will be shown to the green fields, the actual world, the happy world, and all the natural bounties, all the naturally beautiful things that they were earlier deprived of, right? And author is also appealing that to make their world run azure on gold sands. Run azure on gold sands, it means that bright blue color waves. Azure means bright blue colored waves. The poet is basically appealing that to give the children all the bright and colorful things in their lives and let their tongues run naked into the books. With this expression, author basically means that give them all the necessary education that they have been deprived all their life. The white and the green leaves open. The white and the green leaves open basically means that all the natural things, all the beautiful things will open for them if the governor and the inspector and all the high authority people work for them. And history theirs, whose language is the sun. Author is being optimistic here. He said that they will make history with the wisdom and knowledge they gain, and they will make their history because language is their sun. Language is the sun. Language is the sun basically means that sun is symbolic of knowledge and power and wisdom. Author says that they will make history if their language would be knowledge, wisdom and love. So all of these people, all of the privileged people should work and give them these necessities. That's all for the day.